Jensen, Nvidia is making a $100 billion investment in OpenAI and working together to build out, I think you're saying, 10 gigawatts of capacity over several years. The investment's going to come with the gigawatts, one at a time. You're telling me, you guys, as quickly as you guys can get it done. Jensen, first of all, set the stage. Why?
This is the biggest AI infrastructure project in history. This is the largest computing project in history. Well, the reason for that is because computing demand is going through the roof for OpenAI. You know, ChatGPT is the single most revolutionary AI project in history. It's being used everywhere, every industry, every country. Every person practically that I know uses ChatGPT. The computing demand is going through the roof. And so this partnership is about building an AI infrastructure that enables AI to go from the labs into the world. This is about...
Jensen Nvidia is investing $100 billion in OpenAI and collaborating to expand its capacity by, I believe, 10 gigawatts over a number of years. One by one, the gigawatts will accompany the investment. You're telling me that you guys should finish it as soon as possible? The first thing Jensen did was establish the scene. Why? The largest AI infrastructure project in history is this one. The biggest computer project in history is this one. The demand for OpenAI computing is skyrocketing, which is the source of that. As you are aware, ChatGPT is the most groundbreaking artificial intelligence project ever. It is utilized in every nation and in every business. It seems like everyone I know uses ChatGPT. The need for computing is skyrocketing. Building an AI infrastructure that makes it possible for AI to leave the labs and into the real world is the goal of this collaboration. This relates to the impending industrial revolution in AI. It's a huge deal. That is a lot of money, $100 billion. You two are accustomed to handling large sums of money on major projects. Sam and Greg. Sam, I believe the original Stargate announcement, which discussed OpenAI's broader strategy for expanding this capability, was made just 8 months and a day ago. What role does this play? Building this infrastructure is therefore essential to all of our goals, as Jensen stated. We cannot provide the services that people desire if we don't accomplish this. We are unable to continue producing better models. And now that we can actually see how well the models are developing, the new use cases that are being made possible, and what people want to do, this is basically the fuel we need to keep improving, making better models, making more money, and doing all of this. Together with our partners at Stargate, Microsoft, and Oracle, this is enabling us to reach a point where we can expand our infrastructure in order to meet the demands of the global market for these services. Nvidia is the only partner capable of achieving this level of scale and speed. It's really very amazing. However, this will build upon this goal ambition and enable us to continue pushing. We have discovered at every stage that, in light of market demand, we did not quite set our aims high enough. Thus, this will enable us to go to the next level. The industry as a whole, and our company specifically, have been suffering from terrible computing restrictions. The services we can provide at this time are quite limited. Demand is far more than our capacity, and if you had, say, 10 gigawatts of computing power or 5 gigawatts of computing power, you have two options to pick from as we move forward another year or two. You can either use AI to undertake a lot of research to cure cancer, or you can provide free education to everyone on the planet. Nobody wants to have to make that decision. As we observe this, the solution is simply to increase capacity in order to meet the enormous needs and opportunities. I want you to back off, Jensen. You're basically everywhere for a couple days. You're in the UK after all, and I noticed the white bow tie. This touch is so pleasant. You're making a lot of investments, though, although much smaller than this one. The Intel investment that was disclosed last week appears to be significant since it integrates Nvidia technology into PC and data center level systems in a way that may not have been possible previously. What role do these investments play? What is your opinion of the ecosystem's worth to Nvidia? The Intel cooperation is about realizing that the time for AI and faster computing has come. Recall that the invention of general-purpose computing occurred about 60 years ago, and we have been building the global ecosystem and computing infrastructure for the past 60 years by adhering to that fundamental design and architecture. The time for accelerated computing has finally arrived, and we are bringing them into the realm of AI and accelerated computing by combining, if you will, the architectures of Nvidia and Intel. Is the purpose of the collaboration. I mean, the scale of this cooperation is enormous. An engineering project of this magnitude and complexity has never been done before. It simply states that artificial intelligence, AI, was in the early adopter stage in the labs and is now making its way into almost every sector and use case we can think of. It won't be long before artificial intelligence, AI, has generated, referenced, or reasoned through every single word, interaction, image, and video that humans encounter on computers. AI will have some sort of impact on it. AI will therefore fuel all of our computer experiences throughout the day, everywhere, and in every industry. This represents the initial 10 gigawatts. Undoubtedly, it sounds like a massive undertaking, but AI is unquestionably revolutionizing every business. However, what matters most is that AI infrastructure will be ubiquitous, powering computing experiences for everyone, everywhere, every day. OpenAI will purchase Nvidia processors in exchange for Nvidia's $100 billion investment in the latter. I should also point out that as of today's market close, the Nasdaq was up 0.7%. Nvidia was up 4%, and Oracle was up 6%. In my opinion, this was a rather simple, perhaps even lazy reaction to the news. Naturally, Nvidia will supply, let's say, 100 of the 300 cloud infrastructure dollars that OpenAI will be spending with Oracle, and Oracle will then purchase Nvidia chips in exchange. The likelihood of that large deal, which was disclosed by Oracle a few weeks ago, increased as a result, which is why Oracle shares responded higher than Nvidia's in the market as a whole. However, I believe that the pressure point, the main lesson, is far more significant than that. Rewinding, the main concern regarding AI has been how long this will continue. Which inning do we play in? Usually, it refers to hardware, but it can also refer to software, inference, and physical AI. The main query, though, is how long this will go on. Hardware is the topic of that discussion's front end. It is my understanding that the reason this announcement is so significant is because Nvidia's investment in OpenAI will essentially accelerate the pace at which all other players must react by increasing demand for data centers, cloud computing, AI inference, and training. You noticed Elon's response to a comment on X today, stating that Nvidia was investing in OpenAI and that this was worrying, and I believe it illustrates how this bar is slowly rising. There are 6 main clients for Nvidia. If you look at them, one of them, Meta, has made it quite apparent that they will be investing a significant amount of capital expenditures, let's say 45% or more, over the course of the next 3 years. The expectations of the other corporations have been lower. Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are discussing a 7% increase in capital expenditures for the upcoming year. Therefore, I believe that this news involving Nvidia and OpenAI, which has been planned over a number of years, eventually speaks to this race, this arms race, and this wager that businesses must make. They must either play and compete against each other in the AI race, or they must place a very risky wager to reduce some of that expenditure. Naturally, that would save them tens or maybe hundreds of billions of dollars annually. However, those businesses who might not keep up with the speed of AI expenditure could be pushed into a very difficult future that is diminished because they did not invest enough in AI. If it does have the influence on the world that many of these firms and these CEOs believe it will. Additionally, a lot of money is being thrown around in this big picture. Oracle gave us advance notice that this would occur. In the end, it raises the standard for the rest of large tech, as we can now better comprehend how it arrives to the table. Additionally, I'll be paying great attention to what Google, Amazon, and Microsoft have to say about capital expenditures in 2026 during their September earnings call. In my opinion, it will be the most accurate assessment of our current state in the AI trade, at least for the foreseeable future. Go with a single idea. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella predicted in April that artificial intelligence would resolve the most difficult issues facing humanity, and AI hasn't done it yet. While I believe that chatbots, emails, texting, PowerPoints, and graphics are really effective tools, they are by no means the answer to the world's most complicated issues, and I believe that emphasizes how early we are if that is what the future holds.